Hi everyone, it's Miss Els here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make red tomato chutney, which goes so well with cheese. After a hard day at work, I'm really hungry and I love coming home, getting crackers, cheese and putting a bit of red tomato chutney on top. It's just the best. It also goes really well with wraps, so make sure you check out my recipe for mushroom and halloumi wrap, which uses this. It's just in the link up there. And it just goes so well. You'll need cooking apples that I have just blitzed in a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, do not worry. You can finely chop those. Make sure that you peel and core them, of course. Then I've got some tomatoes. I've just got a selection of my friend's granddad who just had loads on his allotment. So I got these for free, bless him, thank you. And I have got some onion. I've just used half and half, so I've used half red onion and then half a white onion. I'm using some sultanas, some ground ginger and some ground allspice. And then I've got sugar. I'll be using demerara and caster sugar. And of course you need some malt vinegar. All of the quantities are in the description, so make sure you have a look down there. What I will be decorating my jars with is some beautiful covers here. I've got some cellophane little discs that I'm going to use to seal it up with, some wax discs also. It's really important that you do put a wax disc or a cellophane disc over the chutney once you've finished making it, to stop the spores getting in there and creating mold, because there's nothing worse than making something, you come in to eat it and then it's got mold on it. So you need to make sure you seal those, so I do recommend that you buy those. I'm just using any old jars that I've got that I've just recycled, and what I will do to sterilise them is I have given them a deep clean in some very warm water, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 110 degrees or a low heat before I start making this to sterilise them even further. So let's get on to making it. In your preserving pan, which I love this preserving pan, it's the best thing that you can buy because you can make jams with it. You could use it for a number of different things. So bobbing for apples on Halloween you could use. You can make loads of punch and put it in this. It's just a fab piece of equipment. You need to put in here your blitzed up apple, your blitzed up or finely diced onion. And I'm going to leave that to one side. I'm not going to turn the heat on just yet. For the tomatoes, this is the annoying part of the whole thing that you have to do, is you have to remove the skin off each of the tomatoes. So a little tip to do this is to put some boiling water into a bowl, put your tomatoes in there just for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then it will start to split the skin, if you can see that. And then it makes it a lot easier to peel off the skin. Once you've taken all the skin off the tomatoes, you then need to just chop them up roughly. Tomatoes are chopped, and what an absolute mess I've made. So there was way too many tomatoes for my chopping board, and literally juice has gone everywhere. So I'll clean that up in a minute. Then all you want to do is just put all of this with the juice as well into your preserving pan. And then you're going to put that on a low heat. And I'm just going to get this cleaned up. Tomatoes in the pan. Then you want to add in your vinegar. And the only thing that you don't want to add in is the sultanas, the sugar and the seasoning. So move this over to the heat. And you're going to simmer this until all of the onion, the apple, the tomato is nice and soft. Make sure you give it a stir so all the ingredients are fully combined, and I'm just going to go into a close-up so you can see the change. So this is what it will look like, and you're just going to simmer this until it is all nice and soft. Add the sugar. And dissolve over a low heat. Then add sultanas, spices, pepper and salt. Stir it all in. Simmer until it is the thickness of jam. the chutney is done, the whole house stinks of vinegar, but it's gonna be worth it. So what you'll do is take it off the heat, and instead of pouring it or spooning it directly into the jars, which I find a struggle, I spoon it into a measuring jug first, and then it's a lot easier to pour into the jars. So the jars are boiling hot, so I will be using oven gloves when I do put this in. But this has just gone into a gorgeous chutney. Absolutely love it, and it will last for a year, maybe more. You can give it to friends as presents, or just if they like it, you can give it to them, or to work colleagues. There's so much stuff that you can do. So once you've poured it into your measuring jug, you're then going to start pouring it carefully into the jars. I'll try not to spill any or make any mess, which can be cleaned up after. So once you've nearly filled the top, just push it all down, and then you want to put a wax disc with the wax side down. The wax side is the smooth side on top of that. And just pat it down to make sure that there's no gaps. And then you want to get one of these discs, cellophane discs, and you put that over the top. Because this is a kilner jar, I don't need to do that because it's got extra airtight. Put the lid on, off it goes. So again, just pouring it in. Carry on doing that until all of your chutney has been used up and you filled up all your jars. And there you have it, some red tomato chutney that just tastes the best with cheese. You can have it with some meats, but I do recommend this goes really well with cheese. So beautiful colour, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's slightly sweet, but it just brings a little bit of tang from the tomatoes and the vinegar that you added. So if you've got loads of tomatoes, you don't know what to do with them, don't waste them, make some red tomato chutney. If you don't want to make this much, then you can always half the recipe, or if you haven't got enough tomatoes, then half it. If you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications button, and I'll see you in my next video.